Imagine you're running a team that just posted one of the worst seasons in franchise history. 10 wins, 34 losses, dead last. You'd think the first thing you'd do is shake things up, bring in new talent, maybe fire someone. At the very least, acknowledge that something needs to change. But no, the Chicago Sky looked at all of that and decided the best move was to trade away future draft picks to make sure nobody could take players from the same roster that embarrassed them all season. And if that wasn't baffling enough, they also dropped their 2026 promotional schedule. And one glaring omission has Angel Reese fans losing their minds. There's no Barbie Night. For the team that employs one of the most marketable athletes in all of women's sports, the woman whose entire identity is built around the Barbie brand, that's more than just an oversight. That might be a signal. And what it signals has the entire WNBA world on edge. Let's start with what went down on April 1st, 2026. The Sky quietly reached agreements with both expansion franchises, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, ahead of the league's upcoming expansion draft. Chicago swapped its number 17 pick in the 2026 draft to Portland in exchange for the number 21 pick, with the condition that the Fire wouldn't select any player from Chicago's unprotected list in the expansion draft. Additionally, the Sky sent pick. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. Pick number 26 to Toronto under the same terms, meaning neither the Tempo nor the Fire would be selecting a Sky player on draft day. After the dust settled, Chicago was left with 3 picks, number 5 overall, number 21, and number 32, heading into the April 13 college draft. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Under the expansion draft rules, each existing team could only protect 5 players. For the Sky, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Ariel Atkins, and Aisha Sifka should have taken 4 of those 5 spots. That means the team was prioritizing existing players, specifically holding onto the rights to their 2025 draft picks like Haley Van Lith, Maddie Westbeld, Aicha Coulibaly, and point guard Sevgi Uzun, several of whom likely ended up on the unprotected list. Think about that for a second. The Sky gave up draft capital, assets they desperately need after the worst season in recent franchise history, to make sure nobody could poach players they didn't even deem valuable enough to protect in the first place. Even reporters acknowledged the Toronto deal was head-scratching, noting it seemed super one-sided since Chicago received no player or draft capital back, just the assurance that the Tempo wouldn't pick one of their players. For a team that went 10-34, every draft pick is a lottery ticket. Every pick is a chance to find a piece that changes the trajectory. Instead, the Sky essentially lit those tickets on fire to preserve the status quo. And the reaction from fans and analysts was brutal. But to really understand why this stung so hard, you have to go back. You have to look at the trail of decisions that led the Sky to this point. Because this wasn't one bad trade. This was the latest chapter in a pattern of front office moves that have left fans furious and the franchise in shambles. It started when Jeff Pagliocca was named general manager back in October 2023. Coming in just 2 years after the Sky's 2021 championship, the future looked bright. But since then, more than one of Pagliocca's questionable decisions have left fans frustrated and confused. His first big move was firing head coach Teresa Weatherspoon after only 1 season. Multiple players, especially Angel Reese, made it clear they were not supportive of that decision. When pressed for an explanation, Pagliocca simply said the organization felt it was time to make a change. That phrase would come back to haunt him because the changes he made next only dug the hole deeper. Another move that left fans baffled was the front office's decision to let Chennedy Carter walk following the 2024 season. Carter was coming off a career-best year, averaging 17.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 3.1 assists. When asked for the reasoning, Pagliocca stated she was no longer a fit after the coaching change. Despite her breakout year, Carter wasn't offered a return and eventually went overseas to play in China and Mexico. Fans were stunned. You let your leading scorer walk because she didn't fit the new coach's system? The coach you hired to replace the coach your star player loved? It was already starting to feel like a house of cards. Then came the move that might go down as Pagliocca's biggest blunder. The Sky traded their third overall pick in the 2025 draft to Washington for Ariel Atkins. Atkins is a former All-Star, but she was only on a one-year deal. That third pick? It became Sonia Citron, who went on to have an incredible rookie season. Losing a future first-rounder on top of the pick that became the Rookie of the Year runner-up for Atkins was a blunder that only looked worse as the season unraveled. And it didn't stop there. The Sky also gave their 2026 first-round pick to the Lynx outright in exchange for the number 11 pick, which they used to select Hailey Van Lith. That Van Lith pick was risky, and she largely disappointed in 2025, only reinforcing the sense of drift. Pagliocca also signed veterans Courtney Vandersloot, Kia Nurse, and Rebecca Allen in free agency. The idea was clear: surround the young core with experience and compete now. The Vandersloot signing looked like a win initially, but that was short-lived. She went down with a season-ending ACL tear on June 7th. The Sky sputtered early and were near the bottom of the league both offensively and defensively despite loading up on veterans in the offseason. We all know how that turned out. The Sky still finished tied for the worst record in the league, and Reese grew increasingly frustrated with the team. What happened next sent shockwaves through the WNBA. In early September 2025, Angel Reese sat down with Julia Poe of the Chicago Tribune and didn't hold back. Reese told the reporter flat out, "I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I'm willing and wanting to play with the best." Those weren't the words of someone ready to wait patiently for things to get better. Those were the words of a franchise player reaching her breaking point. Reese incurred a pair of suspensions near the end of the regular season, most notably a franchise-imposed half-game ban after she openly criticized the Sky's front office, coaching staff, and roster construction. Vandersloot responded publicly, saying her age is absolutely not a factor, and stated her plan to return. Reese later apologized, both privately and publicly, saying her comments were taken out of context. But the damage was done. The organization suspended Reese for the first half of their September 7th game against the Aces. She had already been suspended by the league for the September 5th game against the Fever for accumulating too many technical fouls. Reese sat out the second half on September 7th due to a back injury and missed the team's final 2 games. She later opted out of her exit interview, as did Vandersloot and Ariel Atkins, 3 key players refusing to sit down with the organization after the season. That tells you everything you need to know about the state of that locker room. And the fans? They'd already chosen a side. The final night of the Sky's season was supposed to be about basketball, but fans in Wintrust Arena found themselves caught up in a different story. Instead of focusing on the game, everyone in the stands got swept into a tale of frustration and disappointment. Early in the Sky's 91-86 loss to the Liberty, a low rumble from the stands quickly ramped up into a loud, unified chant, "Fire Jeff." Fans made signs that said, "Fire Jeff, tired of mediocrity, free 5," and Angel was right. Fans in Free Angel shirts courtside made it clear the relationship between Reese and the franchise wasn't as strong as it once seemed. When the chanting started, even the Sky players on the bench looked around in shock, capturing the moment the fan base openly turned on its leadership. This wasn't a handful of disgruntled ticket holders. This was an entire arena telling the front office they'd had enough. Now fast forward to April 2026 and the expansion draft trades. Bad enough on their own, right? But the Sky weren't done making headlines that day. They also released their 2026 theme game schedule, and one omission screamed louder than anything else on that list. Over the past 2 seasons, the Sky had teamed up with Mattel for what was called Barbie Game Day. While it wasn't officially about Angel Reese, the fact that her nickname is the Chi Barbie and that Barbie is a core part of her branding made it a clear nod to the Sky's biggest star. But this year, there's not a single Barbie-related theme for any of the Sky's 2026 games. Nothing, not even a mention. And some fans are taking this as proof that Reese might indeed get traded. Now, to truly understand why this matters, you have to understand just how deeply Angel Reese has woven the Barbie brand into everything she does. The connection between Reese and Barbie has long been organic. During her collegiate career at LSU, she embraced the nickname Bayou Barbie, a moniker that reflected her flair, personality, and dominance on the court. The name quickly became part of her public identity, appearing on merchandise and social media as her popularity surged. Since being drafted by the Sky, the nickname evolved into Chi Barbie, and the Sky had actually leaned into that branding during the 2024 season, hosting a Barbie-themed night that celebrated Reese's arrival and the cultural crossover she brings. She even tried to trademark the name Bayou Barbie in 2023, a move that was ultimately denied due to conflict with Mattel's intellectual property. And it's not like the Barbie connection has faded. Just days before this promotional schedule dropped, Reese appeared at Barbie Dreamfest in Fort Lauderdale, sharing her personal journey and growing influence in sports and culture. The event was Mattel's first ever fan convention, and Reese was a featured speaker alongside high-profile figures like Serena Williams. She's literally an ambassador for the Barbie brand. Her brand value is through the roof. By January 2025, she had 4.6 million followers, making her the most followed player in the WNBA. In 2025, she appeared on the cover of Vogue and as a model in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. She was named the cover athlete for the WNBA edition of NBA 2K26, becoming only the second WNBA player after Aja Wilson to appear on a global edition cover. She even debuted her first signature basketball shoe, the Angel Reese one, with Reebok. This is not some mid-level player whose absence from a promotional calendar is no big deal. This is the single most marketable athlete on the roster, the one player who brings national eyeballs and mainstream cultural relevance to a struggling franchise. And the Sky couldn't find room for one Barbie night? The Indiana Fever showed exactly how to do this. They built their entire marketing machine around Caitlin Clark, leaned into the attention, and turned it into record attendance and television ratings. That was the blueprint. It was right there for Chicago to follow. They chose not to. The fan reaction was immediate and devastating. Fans flooded social media. "Please let this mean y'all are trading Angel Reese," wrote one. "Please, please free her from this," added another. One fan declared, "No Barbie night. We're almost free of this place," unquote. With the Sky's lack of success last season, many hoped to see new additions through the draft. Instead, Chicago ensured the roster could largely remain intact while giving away picks, and fans began calling for Reese's departure in droves. One post that gained traction read, "I've been saying, Angel Reese needs to get the hell out of Chicago. Franchise is a joke." Another summed up the mood perfectly. "This is stand-up comedy. The jokes write themselves. But I can't laugh until Angel Reese is free from this organization." So, what does all of this actually mean for Angel Reese going forward? Here's the reality. Despite the Sky's disastrous 10-34 campaign, Reese continued to impress during her second year in Chicago, earning a second All-Star nod after averaging 14.7 points, 12.6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game. She surpassed Tina Charles as the fastest player to record 500 points and 500 rebounds, doing so in only 38 games. She also became the fastest forward and third fastest player in WNBA history to record a triple-double. In July, she was named Eastern Conference Player of the Week, averaging 19.7 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. This isn't someone whose production is in question. This is a generational talent surrounded by organizational chaos. Reese is under contract through 2027 when the Sky hold a team option. But numbers on a page don't hold frustrated superstars hostage forever. Back in September, Front Office Sports' Annie Costabile pegged the likelihood of Reese returning to the Sky at only between 20 and 30%. Think about that. One of the league's most connected reporters gave Angel Reese less than a 1 in 3 chance of staying. Reese herself later said at USA basketball camp in December that she plans on returning, noting, "I'm under contract, so yes, I plan on returning to the Sky," continuing to talk to Tyler and building that relationship with Jeff and Tyler. But language like that is measured, careful. That's the tone of someone keeping options open, not someone who's fully committed. And here's the thing about the expansion draft trades that nobody's really talking about. There are actually 3 possible reasons the Sky made those moves. 1, they're so attached to the trio of Van Lith, Westbeld, and Koulibaly that they don't want to risk losing any of them. 2, they want to package those players with their lottery pick to get a veteran star in a sign-and-trade. Or 3, they want to put together a trade package to move up in the draft. The Sky's front office seems desperate to avoid a lengthy rebuild. As soon as Reese and Cardoso showed their talent in 2024, Pagliocca sent the team on a win-now route. We saw how that win-now route ended, 10 wins. Worst record in franchise history since the inaugural 2006 season. That season-ending loss was their 34th loss, making it their worst since the franchise first started playing. Meanwhile, the rest of the WNBA landscape shows what competent organizations can do. The Golden State Valkyries wasted little time proving that expansion teams don't have to be condemned to irrelevance. In their first year of existence, they leaned on a deep roster to secure a playoff berth. With a foundation already in place, the Valkyries may be just one bold move away from turning their feel-good story into a real problem for the league. An expansion team made the playoffs in year 1. Let that sink in, while the Sky, an established franchise with a championship just a few years ago, can't crack double-digit wins. And the trade speculation around Reese isn't just fan chatter. It's being taken seriously by people who cover this league for a living. Washington has an abundance of young players on rookie-scale contracts, and a trade for Reese built around Sonia Citron and the Mystics' own 2026 first-rounder could be a win for both sides. Citron already projects as a long-term rotation piece with upside. There's a layer of irony there that's almost poetic. The Sky traded away the pick that became Citron, and now they might have to deal with the Mystics to try and get something back. That's what happens when you mortgage the future. The Liberty have also been floated as a potential destination, with a package potentially built around Nyara Sabally and future picks. Even Golden State could make a play, centering a package around Kate Martin and a first-round pick, giving Chicago a young guard they've badly needed. No matter which scenario you look at, the common thread is the same. Other organizations see Angel Reese's value even if the Sky can't figure out how to maximize it. One analysis put it bluntly, Pagliocca definitely outkicked his coverage. End quote. The defining memory of the 2025 Chicago Sky is the front office's critical miscalculation. The roster was nowhere near ready to sacrifice future assets for short-term gains, yet Pagliocca bet big anyway. The franchise cannot continue operating with this infrastructure. And yet, nothing has changed. Pagliocca reiterated his commitment to getting it right and claimed he has full support from ownership. Full support for the man who oversaw the worst season in franchise history. For the man whose trades have been questioned by every analyst, reporter, and fan within earshot. For the man whose own arena chanted his name with the word fire in front of it. Let's zoom out for a second and look at what Angel Reese has built outside of basketball, because it only makes the Sky's treatment more confusing. In September 2025, Reese joined the ownership group of Togath Exer alongside Sue Bird, Alex Morgan, Simone Manuel, and Chloe Kim, saying the company is about changing the way women in sports are seen and celebrated. She signed a sponsorship deal with Reese's Candy, launched an apparel collection, and her fans used the nickname Reese's Pieces. She started a podcast called Unapologetically Angel on the Playmaker Network. She was on the Met Gala host committee, featured on the cover of Vogue's winter issue, and continues to bridge the gap between sports, fashion, and culture. This is a player whose off-court brand rivals many NBA superstars. She's building an empire, and the franchise that has the privilege of employing her can't even be bothered to throw her a themed game night? It's almost insulting. No, scratch that. It is insulting, and it tells you everything about how disconnected this front office is from the reality of what they have. The Sky's front office certainly feels the pressure of having to build a winning team around her or risk losing her, either after her rookie contract is up or earlier if she demands a trade. She wouldn't be the first Sky star to leave the franchise on bad terms. Kalea Copper left, Courtney Williams left. The championship-era players are long gone. The common denominator in all of that? The same organizational instability that's pushing Reese toward the door. This offseason, the organization has a clear choice: double down on the win-now approach or take a step back and slow things down. The Sky could get great talent with the 5th overall pick. Kiki Rice, for example, could be a long-term building block next to Reese and Cardoso. That pick could also yield other college stars like Lauren Betts or Flau'jae Johnson, according to recent mock drafts. But here's the problem. Even if they nail that pick, it might not be enough to save this thing, because the issues in Chicago run so much deeper than talent evaluation. They run into organizational philosophy, marketing strategy, and basic accountability. The Sky went 10-34, and nobody lost their job. They traded away future assets to protect mediocrity and called it strategy. They dropped Barbie Night from the promotional calendar for a player who literally just headlined a Barbie convention alongside Serena Williams. That same Barbie Dream Fest in Fort Lauderdale drew controversy for falling short of expectations, with fans comparing it to the infamous Willy Wonka experience. But Angel was there. She showed up. She represented the brand. She put in the work. And the Sky couldn't even return the favor with one themed night. The clock is ticking in Chicago. The Sky opened the 2026 season on May 9th against the Portland Fire. They'll play 2 games at the United Center against Las Vegas on June 28th and Indiana on August 8th, after hosting the 2 largest games in franchise history by attendance last season. Those attendance numbers weren't about the Sky's win-loss record. They were about the buzz that Angel Reese and the Caitlin Clark rivalry generates. The Sky are benefiting from Reese's star power, while simultaneously failing to invest in the things that honor it. And rumors suggest this might be the year it all comes to a head. With free agency opening April 12th and the draft on the 13th, the next 2 weeks could reshape this franchise entirely. If Pagliocca makes another miscalculation, if he runs it back with the same core that's already proven it doesn't work, he won't just lose fans, he'll lose Angel Reese. And if the Sky lose Angel Reese, they don't just lose a player. They lose the cultural relevance, the mainstream attention, the marketing machine, and the last remaining reason for casual fans to care about this franchise. So here's the question that everyone in the WNBA is asking right now. How long will Angel Reese tolerate this? She's 23 years old. She's a 2-time All-Star. She's a Vogue cover star. She's a brand ambassador for Barbie and Reebok. She has her own signature shoe. She owns a piece of a media company. She's been on the cover of one of the biggest video games on the planet. She has done everything a franchise could possibly ask of a young star. And in return, she's been handed losing seasons, questionable front office decisions, a suspension for speaking her mind, and now a promotional calendar that pretends her biggest cultural identity doesn't even exist. At some point, enough is enough. And based on everything we've seen, from the expansion draft trades to the missing Barbie night, to the fans literally chanting for the GM to be fired, that point might already be here. The Chicago Sky had every opportunity to show Angel Reese and the world that they're serious about building a winner. Instead, they showed us exactly who they are. And now, the only question left is whether Angel Reese will stick around long enough to watch them prove it again. Something tells me she won't. And honestly, nobody could blame her. Stay locked with my channel Simply Explained for more update.